So I don't know if this is really the best intro for the first episode of a new series. Because
we did the first episode. This is the second.
You're right. This
Yeah,
is technically the second episode.
So you can say whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, Kat, let it out.
Well,
Let her rip.
I saw the Emperor Palpatine's saggy balls and dick.
Excuse?
Okay, now when we said let her rip. Kat.
I didn't know what I was saying yes to.
Now, Kat. So, I can't believe I'm saying this, but what? Tell me more.
So
Speak on that, Kat. Speak on that. Say more about that.
So for my husband's birthday, we went to see.
Is anyone else?
No. Let me finish my fucking sentence.
Sorry.
For my husband's birthday, we went to see The Empire Strips Back, a Star Wars themed burlesque show.
I'm so jealous.
It was.
Why didn't you invite me?
Why were we not invited to Mike's birthday?
Yeah, hey, what
at
the
the
fuck?
burlesque show?
Hey, why didn't you take us with your romantic partner to see a burlesque show
Hey, what
together?
the fuck, Kat?
So I'm going to just go through. I took notes because it was so good and I knew I was going to do an intro about it.
So angry.
So, okay. The opening act, first thing, lights go down, music starts to play. Sexy Luke Skywalker, played by a beautiful blonde woman, comes out on a giant tauntaun puppet.
Good.
Strips off her snowshoe.
Snoot. Get that snoot off.
Shed the snoot, bitch.
She's.
Why didn't you invite us?
I know. It was so good. It was so good. Okay. So she strips off her snowsuit, flashes the tauntaun. It falls down dead after seeing her boobs.
Amazing.
She then slices open the tauntaun as she takes off the rest of her outfit and climbs inside his entrails naked.
Incredible.
This is the opening act of the show.
Incredible.
I remember that from the movie.
Yeah.
This is how you're supposed to experience cinema.
Fantastic. There was an Imperial Guard number that absolutely ripped, like extremely great. There was a C-3PO strip show with sexy Jawas. Giant Jabba the Hutt puppet got strangled by Slave Leia. Great.
Good.
Han Solo
I
was
remember
there.
that from the movie.
Yeah, Han Solo was there. He was not sexy. Sorry.
What?
Sorry, Han.
What?
Very talented dancer. Super talented dancer. Did a lot of like cool Michael Jackson moves, but just like kept doing things that a man would think a woman would think were sexy, but were not sexy. A lot of crotch grabbing. A lot of like aggressive crotch grabs. Sorry, Han.
It speaks to the cultural perception of Han Solo, though.
It speaks to the wrong and incorrect cultural perception
and
of
incorrect cultural perception
Absolutely.
of Han Solo.
It speaks.
Why didn't you invite us?
Sexy Greedo did steal the show during Han's night.
Yeah, that tracks.
There was
Makes
a sexy
sense.
Greedo.
Which one of them shot first?
Then after intermission, there was Palpatine and the Imperial officers.
Okay.
Palpatine got fully nude in a horrible, like, wrinkly skin suit with a saggy dick and balls. There was a giant Death Star disco ball that he rode Miley Cyrus style to Wrecking Ball.
It's fucking incredible.
Beautiful.
So incredible. And just to finish up my memories of it.
I literally can't. I'm so, like, Kat, I'm starting to get legitimately angry that you didn't invite me.
Last things, there was a rapping Yoda puppet. It was great. It was great. The whole thing was incredibly good. So I think it is a touring show. So if you ever get a chance to see The Empire Strips Back,
it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone now.
Oh, boy.
10 out of 10. Highly recommend. Absolutely
But not to your
incredible.
close friends. Not to your close friends who
Oh, boy.
you claim to love.
I'm
are obsessed with Star Wars and know an unhealthy amount about it.
I know. I'm sorry, but it was for my husband's birthday. I'm sorry I didn't invite you to my husband's birthday party.
Well, I just think it's always just so wonderful to go with a couple to a burlesque show. It's just, I love to do that with all my couple friends.
Yeah.
It's like, can you bring me with?
Oh, and it was all MC'd by Lando Calrissian. It was really good. It was really, 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 really good. It was really good.
And you know, we would have been really well behaved at that show.
Nobody was well behaved at that show. Nobody in the audience.
We would have been really, really well behaved.
No, everybody was screaming.
Me and Noel.
It would have been really good boy.
It was great. Anyway, let's play Blades in the Dark. Hello, my name is Kat, and I am no longer your DM. Now I am your GM. A subtle but important difference.
More like a BM. Blades Master.
Whoa.
I don't want to be called that.
My name is Noelle, and I play Pepper Pendergrass, who is a railjack. And that's the first time I've gotten to say that.
Oh, wow.
This is weird because we do actually have to say what we're doing now because it's like important.
It's like
people.
not.
It's like they have to actually know. Yeah. I am Juniper and I play Valerian. I don't think I've given him a last name.
He's like Madonna.
He's like Madonna.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll say Emperor Valerian, and he is a slide.
Hi, I'm Errol. I play Friedrich Weiss, a leech.
Okay, so last time we were introduced first to Friedrich, who comes from a world that is a sort of cusp of the Industrial Revolution, world of progress. And we were introduced to Friedrich as he was killing his boss and then fled the scene of his crime to join the circus, the strange world-hopping circus of NEVERNOWHERE. Then we met Pepper Pendergrass, who has been on the train that carries the circus of NEVERNOWHERE, but was not part of the circus and has suffered some consequences from this. Her memory of her own world is very patchy, and she has lost quite a few of her memories as payment for her time on the train that she did not know she was paying. Because that is the trick of this magical world-hopping train, is that it will take everything from you. But in the meantime, you will have a really fun time.
Yeah.
And then we met the Emperor Valerian at the cusp of his downfall. Right as the revolutionaries are gathering, Valerian chose to go see what this weird circus was about, and when given a chance to have an out, he said, well, I've ruined this world. Sayonara, suckers.
I gotta do it again in a new one.
Yep. So, now the three of you are members of the world-hopping circus and city that is NEVERNOWHERE. This train is unlike anything else in all of the worlds. Inside its many boxcars is a warren of corridors and doorways that make up something very like a city, with districts and factions. And all of it runs on everything that it can take from the worlds that it lands in. And by everything, I mean that which is precious. The mementos, the memories, the artifacts and treasures. All of this are taken into this city train and melted down to pay the fares of its inhabitants. The three of you were tasked by the ringmaster of the circus, who was not terribly happy because you were taken on by the fortune teller Nod, who sacrificed himself to keep the three of you from paying the fare before you had other currency to pay it with besides your own memories. And so Nod has joined the porters. The porters are the train's hands, eyes, ears, mouths, feet, and fingers. The porters are living bodies that are possessed by the train and no longer have any memories of their own. And you saw this happen to the gentle fortune teller Nod. And the ringmaster has told you he will make sure it happens to you unless you prove your worth to him. To do this, he has set you the task of bringing him 3 mementos, so 3 items that have deep emotional significance to their owner. You have 2 stops of the train to complete the task he has set before you. And if you don't, a fate seemingly worse than death awaits you. And that's where we are now. Another porter catches the 3 of you on your way out of the ringmaster's office and asks, would you like an escort back to your rooms?
Oh.
For context here, your invitation onto this train each came with a small room for free, and you were able to choose the location of that room, or at least Friedrich and Pepper were able to choose. They've been here for a couple stops so far. Valerian, on the other hand, the porter smiles at you specifically and adds, Emperor Valerian, as the last resident in your current room, you have inherited the fortune teller's room. Would you like to exchange it for a different one? Your room currently resides in NEVERNOWHERE's most central district, Mothlight. But it would be possible to move to the University District of Candle Hall, the Arts District of the Darklamp Canal, or the Garden District of Sweet Song.
The most central district, you said, was Mothlight, where mine is?
Oh, yes. Mothlight's really nice.
Yes, sir. That is the hub of life in NEVERNOWHERE.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'll stay there.
But what if Nod comes back?
He won't.
Well...
And the porter just smiles at you, does not respond to this.
Oh, well,
In the
anyway.
extremely unlikely event that he does come back, we just room together. It's fine.
What?
Would you want me to sleep on the street outside his house, leave it
No.
empty in case he happened to come back from banishment or whatever happened to him?
I don't know.
Valerian is kind of looking around at you guys. He's sort of towering over all of you, and he's looking curiously down at you, Friedrich, at you, Pepper, at the porter ahead of us. And he says, Did someone cut your ears? Why are they round?
Oh, yeah, like, and yours are so pointy. People have different shaped ears.
That's...
I've met a lot of people with ears like yours, but there's more with ears like mine. They're really popular.
Where are your tails?
Huh?
Pardon?
Are they in your pant?
Do you have a... I look... I look at your butt.
God, what am I wearing at this point?
A rat catcher's outfit.
Okay, yeah, so you probably couldn't see it right away because it's underneath a long cloak.
Oh.
But if you look down at Valerian's feet, you can see just the pink little tip of a tail.
Good lord.
Point of clarification from me here. Is it like, you said it pink.
A tail.
Is it like a rat tail?
No. It's the
It's
same
the
color
same.
as his hair.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the same color as his hair.
So what kind of tail?
To clarify, his hair is sort of a pearlescent pink, and his tail matches that, and it's like a house cat tail.
Oh, okay. I was also
It's kind of thin. It's
my
furry.
second thought was like unicorn tail where it has a little tuft at the end. No, okay.
Yeah, it's thin. It's a short-haired house cat tail.
Oh, Pepper goes to touch it.
Oh, it recoils. What are you doing?
Whoa!
You can't do that.
I can move. That's so cool. Sorry,
It's part of my body.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean. I'm so sorry.
What the fuck? Valerian reaches out
Wow.
and grabs your ear.
Oh,
Yeah, how do you like it?
it tickles. But I understand your point. I'm
Wait.
sorry about that.
He grabs Friedrich's ear.
Unhand me!
See, now that's what I was expecting you to do, but you were like, it tickles. This guy had a normal reaction,
Yeah.
which is weird.
I mean, there's like all kinds of people on the train. I shouldn't get so excited. I have seen people with tails before. They're usually from like really magical worlds, like extra magic. Are you from a place with lots of magic?
There is, some people would call it magic, yes, from my world, yeah.
There's magic in my world too.
Oh, what's your magic like?
It's really difficult. What about you?
Oh, wait, yeah, what, do you have magic?
If by magic you mean charlatans trying to pass off smoke and mirrors as miracles and dupe unsuspecting fools into coughing up their hard-earned cash, then yes, there are street magicians and...
I mean,
That's not what we meant.
that's not what we definitely had those on my world, but they were not, like, we had those, and then there was also, like, real magic.
Oh.
That is what we used. But it was a commodity, it wasn't like...
What do you mean real magic?
I mean, look around.
Honestly, yeah. What do you think is happening here?
Are you saying that when you're in a situation that you don't understand, that you default to assuming that everything happening around you is magic?
Well, I understand magic perfectly fine. It has
Yeah.
very strict rules, and there's certain ways that you can use it and you can't, and some people have access to it and some people don't. It's very politically complicated and charged where I come from, but it's not like I don't know what's happening.
I don't know what's happening, but
I mean, I don't know what's happening here specifically, but I just assume it's because it's a type of magic that I haven't figured out what it does yet.
I've been here for a long time and I've never figured it out.
Well, okay.
How long have you been here?
Oh, years, I think. Years and years and years. Yeah, long time.
Are we talking like decades or like 2-3 years?
I've been to lots of worlds. Well, I guess I've been to lots of cities. Oh, I've been to the city.
Deeply unhelpful.
Well, that's good. You've been here for years. You may have helpful information, how I can seek out these mementos.
Oh, yeah, I don't really know about that. I've been on the train, but I haven't been, like, on the train.
Well, how have you been paying your fare?
I haven't been. But I'm really excited to start, and I can't wait to join the circus.
The porter chimes in here and says, if you would like to join the circus, you will have to audition with Ringmaster Rex.
When do they hold the audition?
Currently, no auditions are scheduled. However, there are currently 12 participants in the circus who will not be there for much longer.
Implying.
And they'll hold auditions to replace the 12?
As they join the ranks of the porters, more spots will open up.
Well, that's good. I can join.
And Friedrich looks very concerned over at Pepper.
But first, I guess, if I'm gonna audition with Ringmaster Rex, then we have to find those mementos, huh?
Well, that's all very well and good, but if you don't have any helpful information, I don't see any reason we should work together.
Well, because we're together now. We could stay together.
Why?
Well, because
Leave your case.
3 heads are better than 1?
Not when it's these heads.
Well, that was a very compelling argument from both of you, but if you don't mind, I have business to attend to. And Friedrich storms off.
Well, I'll find you when we get to the next stop.
I have to go to my house that I've inherited.
I'll see you later.
Okay. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, so Friedrich, Pepper, Valerian, we'll let the 3 of you settle in for a while as the traveling train city chugs ever onward toward its next destination. So that we, players of the game, can have a little aside, a little chat about NEVERNOWHERE, its many districts, and all of these strange and wonderful people. You 3 lovely players all have access to a document I've created about the setting here.
Yes.
You've been able to read about the districts of NEVERNOWHERE, their landmarks, some information about some of the NPCs, as well as information about different gangs and factions here on the train. So we're going to be starting this campaign in a different place, like knowledge base wise, than we might have in, say, like our previous campaign, where you knew nothing about the world unless I described it to you. Basically, Blades is meant to be a very collaborative storytelling experience, so you all have a lot more information about the setting and characters and the powers that be than you would in a game like Dungeons & Dragons. So people playing Blades in the Dark straight out of the book, they would have a very similar thing. The setting is laid out really well in the book. Duskfall is the original setting, and it has lots of gangs and like tables and things that help the DM, build the world. But we are using our own because I am insane.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to put this out here for you guys, just to kind of get you guys into the frame of mind, because this is going to be a very different game. I am going to ask you guys to make stuff up, and this is a much more collaborative experience. So there's no wrong answer. And if there's something that I haven't written into the world building, and you guys say, I want to go talk to Schmiegel Smye, and he is a baker in Sweet Song. Schmiegel Smye now exists, and I will give him life and voice. So don't hesitate to just make things up and add things into the stew. We are making a delicious hot pot, and I want you all to bring your best ingredients. So all of that just to say, I am not going to be the only person bringing up new characters, new areas, even new storylines. We are all going to do that together as a family.
The family.
Part of the family.
Exactly. All right, let's get to it. Several days of train travel pass as Pepper Pendergrass, Emperor Valerian, and Friedrich Weiss each make themselves at home in their own little room in their own little special way. So let's see where each of you have ended up. Friedrich, we'll start with you. It has been about 3, maybe 4 weeks since you joined the train. It's really hard to tell how the days pass when you're on board the train. There's no day or night. The lights never cycle or dim. Where have you landed in this warren of train cars that make up districts, that make up a city?
Do you get to choose where your room is?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have chosen a room in Candle Hall, since that's where kind of the university and scholars are. That's the area where I feel like I'm going to be able to best do my research.
Yes, you have arrived in Candle Hall. That makes complete sense. This is a shadowy district of the train, populated by the runaway academics of many worlds. The center of this district is taken up by Candle Hall University, an organization of scholars who have no students. They are just so desperate for the recognition of their academic achievements that they have created a hierarchy whole cloth so that they can jockey for position in it. And you, Friedrich, as a brand new resident of Candle Hall, are at the bottom of the heap. So you have been given a small room in Candle Hall, barely the size of a closet. It is big enough for a small bed and a work table. And it is crammed in between two shops, one of which is called Breaker's Beakers, and they sell all sorts of lab equipment. And at all hours of the day and night, you hear glass breaking. Just constantly.
Great.
And the one on the other side sells potions, which smell noxious. They give you just the worst headache every time you step foot outside your door, and sometimes the smells filter in through the vents. So that is where you have landed. Have you made any friends, any enemies? How have you been spending your time?
Yes, well, I've been surveying Candle Hall, trying to figure out exactly how these hierarchies work. And obviously I need to gather materials if I'm going to prepare for acquiring these mementos. So I have, unfortunately, been spending some time in the company of Bok Beaker. Fortunately for me, it seems no matter how many times I insult him, it goes directly over his head. But he does have quite a decent collection of equipment, so I've managed to acquire a couple things that I may need on credit.
So Friedrich, there is a knock on the door of your narrow cell, and when you open it, you find Bok Breaker of Breaker's Beakers. And Bok is a short man who comes up maybe to about the middle of your chest.
And I'm also quite short, so goddamn.
Yes, he is quite short. He has got a big bushy beard and big bushy eyebrows, and seems just very stuffed into his clothes. He has come by and he has a test tube with a little ribbon tied around it. And he says, Friedrich, I brought you a little welcome to a new world present. I heard that you're in a bit of a trouble with the ringmaster, so I thought I'd bring you something to help. And he hands it to you, and it is just a normal test tube.
It's just a test tube?
Just a test tube.
I pick it up and examine it, and I say, you shouldn't have.
Oh, it's no trouble. You're my neighbor. I'm happy to help. Now, let me know if you need any help navigating the new world. I'll be honest, I don't go out much. I prefer to stay on the train as much as I can. But I know people, and I know people who know people, and those people also know people. So all of that together, we can probably find you a little bit of help if you need it, right?
I don't think I'll be needing any help, but thank you very much, Breaker.
Don't call me Bok.
I'd prefer not to. That powder for the standstill poison, the order I put in, did you happen to,
Oh, well, we'll have to see what we find in this new world. I've got people who know people who know people who know people who are going to give it a scout for me and see what we can find out there. If we get lucky, I'll be able to fulfill that order. Just jiff as quick.
What the fuck?
Well, it's been stimulating speaking with you, Breaker. But if you'll excuse me, I do have work to do.
Of course. You academic types always have work to do, of course. Well, if you need anything, I'll be right next door, and you hear a big crash come from next door, and he goes, sounds like I've got a customer. Let's go. And he heads off. Pepper, how have you been doing? You have found in your couple weeks here in the city of Nevernownowhere that people tend to look at you with a sort of pitying air when you tell them about your life before you came onto the train. Your time in the area of the train that you now know is called the boxcars. All of the unconnected rooms that do not make up the city. Every time you tell someone that, they give you a look. And it's the look of someone who's looking at another person's infirm and elderly pet, wondering how much time it's got left.
Jesus Christ.
Even so, how does this life inside the train compare to your life before?
Well, I can't let any of that get me down. People are always saying to me, "Oh, Pepper, wouldn't you rather, remember anything about your life?" And I always tell them the same thing. I've got no idea. I would say my life now is pretty much the same. I live down in the Dark Lamp Canal where all the artists are and the musicians, and there's even a hot magician who lives nearby. I always ask him what else he's hiding under his cloak, but he doesn't seem to get what I mean.
That's perfect. So you have made your home in the Dark Lamp Canal, a very romantic area of the Boxcar City, notable for the boxcar of water that runs through the center of the district, and for being one of the few double high sections of the city. Because NEVERNOWHERE is made up entirely of train cars that are put together, most places have a very low ceiling that is only just high enough for you to walk around without ducking your head.
Oh, that's true. That is different. I never bunk my head anymore.
Well, that's interesting, because one thing you've noticed is that no matter who's walking through NEVERNOWHERE, the ceiling is just high enough for them not to hit their head.
Yeah, it wasn't like that in the boxcars.
It wasn't, was it? The boxcars are a bit of a stranger place. And somehow, once you're inside the city, it all makes a little bit more sense, as long as you don't look very closely.
Well, that's never been a problem for me.
And that has served you well. Now, what have you been doing in the last couple of weeks?
Oh, lots of things. I've been making friends, I've been working on music, and I've been trying to get those other two weirdos to, get it together, work together with me, so that our death sentence that's hanging over all three of our heads could be sliced into pieces, maybe. So far, they have rejected my every request, but I'm sure it will work today. But anyway, other than that, yeah, I've been playing music, I wrote a new song, I've made a lot of friends, even the ones who won't admit it, and I've been settling into my room.
Where is your room, besides being in the Dark Lamp Canal?
There's this building a few cars back that sort of hangs over the edge of the canal, and my room is right down there at the bottom, and I hardly ever get my feet wet.
Your positivity is absolutely infectious, Pepper. And the people around you seem to really be enjoying you as a neighbor. You mentioned the hot magician. That would probably be Hallett, right? Hallett the Magnificent?
Absolutely, that's the name.
And Hallett lives upstairs. He has a much nicer room than your tiny little cell in the very bottom of the canal. But he is a gracious neighbor, even though he just seems to always have something up his sleeve. And then something else. And then something else.
That's what I'm saying.
And you are coming out of your room when you see Hallett is speaking to a very tall woman who's just wrapped in silks and carrying a lyre.
Oh, and I don't know her?
You do not know her, no.
Cool. So I run up to them and I say, Hallett, who's your friend?
Ah, Pepper, my new neighbor. Yes, this is the illustrious, the most mysterious, the most... Oh, please, Hallett.
Pepper has stars in her eyes.
Yes. The woman says, you can stop with the epitaphs. My name is Matelia.
Wow.
And I hear you are the latest musician to join our district.
Oh, wow, yeah. Are you a musician too? Pepper pulls out her lute/club.
And she looks at it and goes, oh, is that your instrument?
Yeah.
It's very quaint.
Is that your instrument? Can I play it?
Absolutely not, no, my dear.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
This is a rare artifact from my homeworld that I have kept treasured for a very long time.
Wow.
I will trade it for nothing, and none shall touch it lest they suffer my wrath.
Whoa.
Now, I'm very glad that we got a chance to meet, for I have a message to pass on to you.
To me?
Yes.
Well, what is it?
Stay out of the way.
I look at Hollet. And I step out of her way.
She rolls her eyes. She rolls her eyes and says, "There is a schedule. There's a ladder that you must climb before you gain any performance."
And Pepper looks around her ladder.
And you can see this woman getting more and more frustrated as you continue to take her words so very literally.
Get her ass.
Says, "If you would like to perform in the canal, you must first secure a performance space. You can't simply be giving performances hither and yon.
You guys don't like busking? That seems like the point of this whole place.
If you want to busk, go out into the NEVERNOWHERE. Here, you will earn your place as a musician, or you shall keep to your cell. Am I clear?"
Cell? You mean my house?
And I point back to what is clearly a cell.
And she gives a very condescending smirk. She says, "Yes, your house. I'm sure it all seems very luxurious to you after your time in those wretched boxcars. But anyway, that is the message that I came to give you."
Oh, who's it from?
Well, this message comes from Krista Kiros Downfros. She's the head of our district and someone you do not wish to cross.
Well, you're right about that. I gotta go meet her. Where's she live?
Well, I'll let you find that out on your own. I shall go now. Halit, keep the trash out of the streets. And then she drifts away as if on a summer wind.
Wow, what a beautiful woman. Ugly on the inside, but what can you do? That's your friend, Howlett?
That might be a strong word for our relationship, but she is very powerful in this district, and I would give her word quite a bit of weight. Not everyone is so equitable, and those of us here at the bottom of the district do need to keep our feet out of the water, so to speak. There are, after all, lots of things that bite in that canal.
When he says to keep our feet out of the water, Pepper looks down and there's literally water in her house right now. And she's like,
Well, I've never been bitten by anything. Not yet. There's still time, Howlett.
And he said,
If you wanna.
and he pats your shoulder and says, "Keep that sunny attitude, Pepper. It will get you far."
Okay.
Well,
are you leaving?
we are going to be coming into the station soon, so we better get out to Moth Light. Come on.
Let's do it.
Hello, sweet listeners. It is me, Noelle, from the podcast, and I'm here with your mid-episode announcements, thank yous, acknowledgements, and information, which you may need as you go forward. First of all, I just want to say I really hope you're enjoying Never Nowhere episode 2. As ever, we're so excited for what we have so far and to show you guys where we're going to go. So if you've been enjoying it, we really would encourage you to tell a friend. We have tried to make it easy for you, in fact. I have set up a link, so if you go to legendlark.com/never, it will bring you straight to a Spotify playlist with all of the Never Nowhere episodes that will be updated as we go along. So again, if you want to tell a friend, you can link them to legendlark.com/never. And if you do, we'll die 1,000 happy deaths. Please do it. Well, maybe that's dark. On kind of a similar vein, we are actually going to be starting up a new project soon that we're very excited about. Now, hear me out. It's going to be called Riverdale Roulette. So you may say, I've never heard any of you guys mention that you like Riverdale or that you've ever watched Riverdale, and that's because we haven't. So what this is going to be is a series of live streams that we are going to basically, we're going to divide into a team of 2. Each of us are going to watch a Riverdale episode in a completely random order. So we're going to be watching Riverdale episode by episode, completely random. Who knows if we'll ever see the first episode until the end. We won't know. And we're going to try and piece together what's happening
based on this over the course of watching the show. And I think it's going to be so, so funny and so, so wonderful. So if you either have never watched Riverdale and you've heard how crazy it is, as we have, or you love Riverdale and you are excited to see what random episodes we get in what random order and what conclusions we draw from that, then I would encourage you to check it out. It's going to be over on our YouTube page, which you can get to by going to legendlark.com/YouTube, where you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure that you get a little alert when we are live on June 30th at 6:30 Central. That is a Monday, June 30th at 6:30. We are going to start Riverdale Roulette. The first episode is going to be us talking about the concept, introducing ourselves, and also making our predictions, telling what we already know about Riverdale, like just kind of through the cultural zeitgeist, and particularly through like the Tumblr zeitgeist, which we are privy to. So I think it's going to be a great time. I think we are going to be screaming, laughing, having rip-roaring fun. So I'm really excited for that. So I hope you'll check it out. Again, it's going to be on our YouTube channel. You can go to legendlark.com/YouTube and subscribe to make sure that you can come on June 30th. And thereafter, it's going to be every other Monday at 6:30. So we have lots of new exciting things going on as ever. One other thing I wanted to just remind you guys about is if you are at any point getting confused about like, oh, like what are these rules to this game, Blades in the Dark? We're trying to kind of explain as we go along, but we did also make an explainer episode called How to Play Blades in the Dark, which is in our feed. It's in the Never Nowhere playlist. So if you at any point like get confused about what's going on, I don't think it's that confusing. We're going slow enough that it should be okay. But if you get confused, you should listen to that. And if you're just looking for something funny to listen to, you should listen to that because it's really funny. The voice acting that my beautiful friends did is insane. The sound effects that our beautiful editor Wray edited in are so, so funny. So I would encourage you to check it out, even if it's just to have a little laugh, have a little giggle, have a little har. And now allow me to go over to Spotify and respond to a beautiful comment from a beautiful person. You guys responded in such a huge way to our call for Spotify comments. So that's awesome. Thank you guys so much. I can't say this for sure because I don't understand how Spotify works, but I would assume that we get recommended to more people based on engagement. So anytime that you're listening to an episode on Spotify, if you have any thought in your head and you would like to press comment, we would love to read it. In particular, I want to respond to Barb/Bast's comment, who said, I know nothing about tarot cards, but the internet has taught me that the Tower, the Fortune Wheel, the Devil, and the Lovers are like the worst cards that anyone can pull. So I'm very excited. Which I like died laughing reading that and immediately sent it to our Discord chat. Yeah, so those are the cards that our characters pulled in episode 1. And you know, we're just gonna see where we go. We're gonna see where we freaking end up, dude. Because we've been through and we're going to continue to go through some shit. Hell yeah. I also want to thank our beautiful new patron since last episode. That goes out to Nora. Nora, you're the only one I trust, the only one I love. I love you, Nora, so much. If you would like to check out our Patreon, you can go to legendlark.com/Patreon. We post tons of outtakes and deleted scenes. We have bonus episodes. We have live streams. We have art. And I specifically put a link in the show notes of each episode. So if you're listening to an episode, you can click on that link and it will take you to the specific outtakes or extras from that episode. And I have it in every single episode for the whole podcast, which took a lot of work. So I encourage you to use them, especially if you're re-listening. But if you're just listening to Never Nowhere and going, God, I wish there were a little, just a tiny bit more to sate me until next week, you can go to Patreon and get those little satiations. I also want to extend a quick thank you to the person who sent us their graduation letter. Thank you so much. That was so sweet. Congratulations on graduating and best wishes for your future. Right before the end here, I want to mention that we are on social media. Our most active social media is generally our Tumblr, but we are also on Blue Sky, Instagram, just recently, Reddit. We have a TikTok. We are posting on YouTube Shorts, and we also have a fan-run Discord. You can get to all of those through our website at legendlark.com, but generally on social media, we are Legend Lark Pod, so you can always just look us up on whatever social media platform you're on. Last of all, the most important part of any mid-roll, a message to Chantel. Chantel, I just saw you yesterday, and I saw your adorable cat, Mitzi, who I got to pet and pat on her head. And she's the most wonderful, cutest cat in the world. And I love her so much. And I love you so much, Chantel. And the code word is Band of Builders. And the sleeper agent is active. Go.
So, Valerian, it's only been a week for you. You have been able to stay in Nod's train compartment since you were the last one there before he became a porter, and thus you inherited the cramped space. Mothlight is the center of NEVERNOWHERE. Geographically, it's hard to say if it actually is the center. It is very difficult to map NEVERNOWHERE. But it is certainly the social center of the city. There are dozens and dozens of shops, restaurants, meeting places, tea houses, coffee houses, offices, just anything you can dream of, any public space that you can think of is here in the Mothlight. And you have landed yourself a prime piece of real estate, small though it is. And you've had a lot of people sniffing around outside your door. But so far, everybody seems to be keeping their distance. Word travels fast in this strange moving city, and it seems that everybody knows the ringmaster has his eye on you. You have gotten word, just from listening on the street, that the train is pulling into the station today, so how are you preparing for that?
I haven't changed my routine very much. I find in a new place I'm getting used to things. I have to remind myself I cannot just command people on the street to do as I ask. So that's been taking some getting used to. But, you know, I've been walking around every morning. I go to the Bluebirds. I hear the news. You know, I get the pastry from a shop in the marketplace, and they have a really good, beautiful shop with good decorations. And I like the pastry. And then I walk around, I talk to people. I've made a few contacts. I spend my nights at the Cocoon, mostly.
Yes, the Cocoon. This is the busiest pub in NEVERNOWHERE. It is at the center of the Mothlight district. And while you're at the Cocoon, you have seen, though you may not yet know, all of the heads of the different districts meeting and talking.
Oh, I know.
You've to make it that a priority.
Yes, I have not made contact. I'm not ready at this point. I'm trying to establish myself as a presence within the district, but not a threatening one. I want people to see me and to know me, but I don't want them to think anything about me.
Interesting.
So that's so far. I've been doing good. I've made one enemy.
Oh.
Oh, she is a wicked woman. Her name is Nurse Debbie. I got a cut on my arm when I first entered the train. I had to go to Nurse Debbie to get patched up. And, you know, she looks like she would be a nice, kind woman. But no, she was wicked.
Now, Nurse Debbie does have a reputation in Mothlight as actually being a very sweet woman.
No, that's wrong.
So everybody else is wrong about her.
Yes.
Ah.
I know about medicine, okay? You get a wound from battle, you go to the medicine healer, and they perform magics, and your wound is healed. This is the way that it works.
This is the way that it worked in your world.
But when I go to Nurse Debbie for the cut on my arm, do you know what she did?
What did she do?
She poked holes in my flesh.
Yes.
and sewed me like a garment.
Yes, she gave you stitches.
It was incredibly painful. And at the end, I saw her give someone else a lolly. Me? No! I was sent on my way in pain.
Would that perhaps have anything to do with the howling and fussing and screaming
No!
and the threats to Debbie and her family?
I would not. Were you there? Did you watch?
I'm everywhere, and I know everything. Now, Valerian, the train is coming into the station, and where are you at this moment?
Where's the entrance
There
or
isn't.
exit?
That is a very interesting question, and it's not one that is easy to answer because the boundary between the backstage of the circus and Never Nowhere is a bit fuzzy. But there is a main gathering area in a section of Mothlight called the Boards. And this is a section of the district where you can see the doors of these boxcars have been rolled back and nailed back to create the wider spaces that make up the rest of the district. And on these boards, there are scoreboards like one might see at a Little League baseball game. And they have titles over them that say City Watch Presence, Punishment, Order, Governance, and Vice. And people are starting to gather around the boards as it is getting closer to the time when the train is fully stopped in the station. Now, I should say, one thing you've come to know is that when people say pulling into the station, this is a bit of a 2-day process. On the day that the train pulled into the station, which was yesterday, you think, again, time is a little bit hard to track, but it feels less like a train stopping and more like being inside a bowl of Jell-O hitting a brick wall in slow motion. It was an unsettling, nauseating feeling deep in the pit of your stomach, and it took hours before you felt normal again. But in that time, the Bluebirds began to make their way out onto the streets. The Bluebirds are an organization in Never Nowhere that is made up primarily of Never Nowhere's children, and they act as scouts for the rest of the train. They've been coming and going from Mothlight all day and night, running reports to their main hub in Mothlight and to others who have made private arrangements with them to gain information. So that's then where you are, as you're here by the boards waiting for the Bluebirds to distribute their information. So while you are out waiting by the boards in this milieu of Never Nowhere's citizens, you are approached by a big burly man with sort of dust-colored skin. And he's wearing this really flashy bright blue coat that's trimmed in gold and jewels. And when he grins at you, you can see that some of his teeth are gold. He says, our newest neighbor. And he grabs your shoulder, gives you a real firm shake. He says, I've been hearing your name around the district for a few days now. Mr. Valerian, isn't it?
Yes, that's my name.
It's good to meet you. I'm Yolvis Christ, and I've come here to offer you a position in my organization. We are the preeminent organization that runs the Mothlight. You might have heard of us. The Piper Lords, we're called.
Yes, I'm familiar.
Yes, well, seeing as you have this fine piece of property here, I wanted to make sure that you knew that you had an open invitation to join our organization. There are many benefits as long as you pay your dues, and, well, then you could keep this nice place of property.
I appreciate that. I'll consider it.
Well, don't take too long to consider, as, like I said, you have a very prime piece of real estate that we have quite a bit of interest in, and if you do not join our organization, we will find another way to acquire it.
So you're threatening me?
Yes, I'm glad you picked up on that.
Okay. And can you please, in detail, describe the nature of the act you'll carry out against me if I don't join? I'd like to be fully aware of the threat being levered upon me.
Well, I like to keep my options open, but torture's always on the table. Drugging, we're big fans of that.
Now, what kind of drug?
Oh, the kind that will make you wish you hadn't been born.
It's not. I need details, man. You're just giving me vague. I want to know, will it cause me pain? Will I be delirious? Will my body go numb? Will you have me be paralyzed and then torture me? Will I be able to feel? Will I be blinded? Am I going to be vomiting constantly until blood comes out of my mouth? Will I be shitting my bowels out?
And Yovis, as you're talking, Yovis actually takes out a little notepad from his drawer. These are great ideas. I'm going to write all of these down. Yes, and yes. Oh,
Okay.
that last one, I think definitely.
Yeah, the bowel shitting, I find it works really good. I do recommend
yes,
it.
absolutely it does. And, I think we can make all of that happen, Valerian. I think we can really
Wonderful.
make all of that happen for you.
And that's it then, just the drugging and the torture?
Oh, yes, well, and then we'll march you out to the porters, and every time we have to pay the fare, and take away all of your memories one by one until you're a shambling husk, and you join the porters and become part of the train.
Valerian takes out his own notebook and says, question for you, further clarification if you don't mind. The law of the train, harm dealt against other passengers will be dealt back in kind. Is that something that you're exempt from in your group?
Everyone is exempt for it, my man, as long as the porters don't see you. They don't believe anything that they don't see with their own eyes, and therefore, justice is always a bit flexible here.
Okay. I understand. Now, here's this one. Let's see, if one takes something, one does not belong to them without permission.
Now, I'll save you a bit of time here. son.
Yes, please.
All of the major laws of NEVERNOWHERE, which are enforced by the porters, only apply if the porters see the crime being done. If they do not, they simply do not believe that it happened.
So, if I own a place, right, and then you take it,
Yes, as long as they don't see us take it from you, then they don't care.
well, what constitutes the taking, the act? Do you have a deed, or I need to have a title for my place of living?
And
I mean, these are important
He grabs you
questions.
by the shoulders in a sort of almost fatherly sort of way. And he gives you a very gentle shake and he says, "You ask too many questions."
No, I ask just the right amount.
No.
It's clear to me there's some reorganization that needs to be happening with the laws of this place.
Well, you have ambition. I hope that we can harness that to profitable means. But I think, and he spins you around so that you are facing a low stage out in front of the boards. He says, "I think that the show is about to start. So," and he gives you a slap on the back. "Listen up." And as he says that, you see a tan boy of about 13 wearing laced sandals and a blue tunic climb up onto this little stage in front of the boards. Behind him, a few other bluebirds are putting up numbers onto those scoreboards. And one of the bluebirds is just finishing up the letters that spell Aphatrea. The boy in the tunic picks up a silver bullfrog sculpted so its mouth is open in an angry shout. He speaks into its mouth, and his voice is amplified over the sound of the crowd. Chirp, chirp! It's the Bluebird Report! Welcome to Aphatrea, where the local fashion is tunics and sandals! And he does a little twirl to show off his outfit. The weather is sunny and hot, and the sea is salt water. The day and night cycle is a stable 12-12 with a standard 24-hour day. The porters say this is a 3-day stop, so enjoy the weather and soak in those rays. Now for local news. We have arrived during the Sun Goddess Festival, just in time. The circus is located in the north of the market district and has taken the form of ox-drawn carts. We have a lot of oxen. The Sun Goddess Festival celebrates, and he pauses here to check his little notepad. A priestess who became a sun god or something. She died a long time ago, but now once a year they crown someone as their sun queen and they do a big parade. So that's a lot of fun. And he flips through some more pages on his notepad. Lots of people are in from out of town. and they're already talking about being robbed. There's lots of big ships with lots of cargo in the harbor, but they haven't unloaded yet because of the festival. Okay. He points now to the other scoreboards behind him, which show the 5 categories that I mentioned earlier. The watch presence is high-ish, but it's outnumbered by the crowds, and the punishment doesn't seem like super hardcore. But they've got some really strict laws here about really stupid and weird stuff, and they really care about it a lot, so watch out. Government appears to be democratic, and because of the festival, the vice level is really high, so people are looking to have fun. And he shuffles around with his notepad for another minute before another child near the stage hisses at him and he jolts to attention. That's it for the Bluebird Report! He salutes, and then he runs off the stage into a group of other bluebirds who pat him on the shoulder and ruffle his hair. So, the scoreboards show the exact rankings that the Bluebird has given this world, and they are as follows. City Watch presence is 5 out of 8. The punishment score is 3 out of 8. The order score is 8 out of 8. Governance is democracy, and vice is 7 out of 8. So these are the scores that we will use every time you guys land in a new city. And this is just to give you kind of an idea of the flavor of this world.
What was the 3 out of 8 score?
Punishment.
So, like, this isn't likely to be a place where if we get caught doing something wrong, they're just gonna, like, string us up
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
And 8 out of 8 was
Order.
order.
Yeah. The order score kind of means, like, is this a society that values some type of order very highly?
Okay.
So that might be like a hierarchy or the way that it structures its laws.
Like societally, they're on board with how
not
they
chaotic.
are.
Yeah, it's not a chaotic. Yeah, a low order score would be like your world, Valerian.
Rude.
Get his ass.
I think actually Valerian's is a very good example because yours would be low in order but high in punishment.
Yeah, true.
What did you say the watch was?
5 out of 8. City Watch presence is high, but there's such a big crowd right now that the City Watch is just stretched thin because of this festival.
Okay. Are we all hearing this?
Yes, Friedrich has come for this announcement after learning about the event from Bach and has been taking notes and kind of, he's being jostled by this big crowd and trying to see the scoreboard because he's only 5'4", but he's clearly uncomfortable to be in this large crowd.
Is he anywhere near Valerian? Because if Valerian saw you being jostled,
Yeah,
because Valerian's quite tall,
yeah.
he'd say, "Hello, friend. Do you need an uppies?"
And Friedrich, like, at first just looks really confused and surprised, but then as he sees you kind of gesture when you say uppies, this look of, like, pure indignation and rage comes over his little face, and he says, "Why are you talking to me?"
Oh, tasty in the morning. Okay, no uppies. I will continue to take my own notes. And
Pepper
I won't-
pops up between you guys and says, "Hi! Did I hear somebody offering uppies?"
Do you need uppies?
Yeah.
Okay. Valerian kneels. It allows you to climb on his back.
Yay!
He won over the children of his big child soldier fan, Valerian. Won over all of the children this way.
Big mistake, Friedrich. Huge.
Friedrich just shakes his head in disgust.
So once the Bluebird leaves the stage, everybody else begins to break apart into small group conversations or crowds up towards the board to get a better look at the information posted. Gangs start discussing how they want to approach the city and what areas they might target. People who work in the circus are all rushing about. The head costumer roars over the crowd and yells, "Togas and tunics, people! We need togas and tunics! It's swords and sandals out there! Gladiator gear for the mock battles! Go, go, go!" And everybody is thrown into activity as the two halves of NEVERNOWHERE get to work preparing for the next 3 evenings.
Pepper, like, rests her forearms on Valerian's head, and she tilts her head to look down at Friedrich, and she says, "So what's our plan, guys?"
What do you mean, our?
Like I've been trying to explain to you guys when I pop into your room and I, like, tell you what we need to definitely do is, like, we're all in the same boat, right? So we don't have any other connections like that. We should really work together, right?
We're actually on a train.
And
Pepper looks around.
Friedrich just gives Valerian the most like withering look.
Valerian smiles at him.
And I say, this is a perfect demonstration, actually. Pepper, I would hate to insult you, but the fact of the matter is, a man of my intellect simply isn't going to need help with this sort of task. It's child's play to me. In fact,
Oh.
I could go ahead and collect all 3 artifacts, and you two can go, I don't know, play with building blocks or whatever it is you do in your spare time.
What a bitch!
Whoa. Valerian's smile turns shrewd when you say that, but he's still smiling.
Pepper swings down and looks down at Friedrich. And she says, you know, there's things other than intellect that it takes to pull off something like that, though, right?
Maybe for you.
Okay. I mean, it seems like you've got it handled. Valerian, what about you? You wanna...
I have business.
Yeah, we all have the same business.
Listen, if you want to tag along, I will not stop you. But if you become a hindrance to me, I will kill you. Do you understand?
Oh, well, that seems a little...
I'm just being pragmatic.
It's harsh, though.
I'm not ruling out your
You
potential
guys are both
useful.
being so, like, way harsh.
Well, this has been really delightful, but I'm going to head out.
I have to find a porter.
I have a tummy ache.
So how are you preparing for that?
Okay, wait, before I start this, I have a really important question.
Yeah.
I don't know if you even remember, because I don't remember. Did we establish ever that anyone in my home world rode horses?
I don't think we ever established it.
Okay, so horses were not mentioned.
I don't think we mentioned
Okay,
horses.
I've just decided on a piece of lore for Valerians.
A horse-centric piece of lore.
You know, of all the things I thought you were going to ask, that wasn't one of them.
I don't think we talked about horses.
Okay.
I hope not.
I don't think we did, so I just wanted to make sure before
It's so important.
It's really important.
So important. Okay.
It might not even come up, but I just needed to know.